Time for another board recap podcast. How are you today on this February day, Dr. Smith?
Tell you what, feeling blessed. I don't recall February having temperatures in the upper 50s very often in my life. So,
Yeah, very nice.
so
Well deserved after
yeah,
the
nice
frigid
surprise after the
January.
monsoon,
Yes,
the first week of February, and
right.
yeah, the bitter cold in January.
Especially makes you feel blessed when you see some areas of the country, West Coast in this example,
Oh my
just getting
gosh,
hit with extreme weather. And here
yeah,
we've got really a mild day. So,
yes, we
very
do.
fortunate. So,
We are.
let's take a look at last night's school board meeting, if you will, and we'll start, like always, with good news. So, we celebrated the fact that several of our schools actually recently have been recognized and ranked within the top 20% of schools in the state of Indiana. Um, by U.S. News and World Report. We talked about 4 of our high schools getting that distinction not too long ago, and 7 of our elementary schools were in the top 20%. But one in particular we want to raise, and that is McCutcheonville Elementary School. They had a fun celebration last week because they were ranked 24th best elementary school in the state, and that doesn't happen without a lot of hard work. And they made it a fun day for the students. So kudos to McCutcheonville Elementary.
That's right. And as we've said very often, we want education to be fun. Learning
Absolutely.
should be fun. So,
You're going to work hard. You should have fun while you're working hard, and you should celebrate in your success, whether it's academic, athletics, fine arts. So
absolutely.
you
Yep.
should really have pride in what you're accomplishing. We did another cause for applause in January, our Employee of the Month recognition, and this time it went to Sherry Shank. Sherry is a special education assistant or paraprofessional at Hebron Elementary School. She's been with EVSC for many years in a few different schools, and she is actually getting ready to retire this spring. She does a great job, and as I said last night, Dr. Smith, we all know, of course, how great our teachers are and principals, counselors, all of that. But we have a lot of classroom assistants, paraprofessionals, as they're called, and they do so much. And it's really a job that's changed over the last 20 years. They are valuable assets in the classroom, and Sherry is just one example of
You
them.
bet. And as you said that, Jason, what job hasn't changed in the last 20
Sure,
years?
you're
But
right.
no, it's always great. As you've noted many times, this is one of my very favorite
Yeah,
things
I
to
know
do.
it is.
Every time when it's announced, and certainly in Sherry's case, when it was announced that she was the cause for applause recipient, just the fact when the student faces lit up at
Right.
Hebron, so you've got it right.
Absolutely. Definitely. Staff was super excited for her. And we recognize the fact that North High School's dance team, known for many, many years as the Huskettes, competed in the UDA National Dance Competition in Orlando, Florida this past weekend. And what a great thing for these students.
Certainly it takes a lot of teamwork, dedication, but not just on behalf of the students. Also, the sponsors put in so much
Oh, my
time,
goodness.
making certain that their routines are absolutely what they should be, especially in a competition element. And then talk about the parents. Everything that whole community has to do in order to get our students at that level to perform on that national stage. And I think that is the essence of education
Sure.
because everything that they've learned being a Husket will serve them well in their life when it comes to working with a team, working to achieve goals, understanding the importance of being on time, your responsibilities. It's just that's the essence of school.
And then not to mention just the memories these
Right.
students develop. I mean, 30, 40 years from now, they could be sitting here like we are having a conversation. They'll remember every bit of this competition.
You bet they will. In fact, I was talking to a member of my team that recalled 2 trips that we took when I was at Ball State High School as a band and orchestra director, and that was, let's just say, 30 plus years
That
ago.
is true. You're right.
Uh,
So,
so,
and
yeah,
again, you're right.
lifelong memory.
You're exactly right. That is what the whole school experience is
Right.
about.
Key component, certainly.
Definitely. Cops Connecting with Kids. This has been around so long that just recently 80 students, not just from Evansville, but from surrounding areas, went as well. The pictures that were posted on social media just shows the type of enthusiasm, the fun these students were having on this trip of a lifetime. And we have to give a shout out to not only law enforcement, but all of those in the community who support this. It takes an incredible amount of fundraising to put this trip together for 80 students and the chaperones. They pulled it off again. So just kudos to everyone. Was glad to see that everyone had such a great time.
Yeah, completely agree. And it's just another one of those things that I think people around here take for granted.
I
But I
think you're
don't
right.
know of another community that has an event like this.
No, I think you're right. And I'm talking coast to coast. I've
Right.
never heard of anything like this
Yeah.
anywhere else. It truly is amazing. And then last but not least, Talk about being proud of a couple of students. They are from New Tech Institute. So let's talk about Jacob Barnwell and Eli Duff. They are two students that are at New Tech. They competed in the University of Evansville's Changemaker Challenge, which is really an amazing competition and certainly competition. There is no lacking of stellar competition in this event. And they made it all the way to the finals and won. They designed, created from the ground up a solar lens project dealing with outdoor lighting. It's something that really they kind of started developing in a class they're taking at New Tech, their entrepreneurial academy class, and they won both of them full ride scholarships to the University of Evansville. Now that is amazing.
It certainly is. Puts a smile on my face. Love University of Evansville. That's
Proud
one of my
alumni you are.
You bet. And I tell you what, the last several years, that competition just grown and grown and grown. So well deserved accolades, and certainly look forward to what they will
Oh my
accomplish in the
goodness.
future.
And I think I
And they're
told
juniors.
yes, and in talking to these 2 students, I mean, for anybody out there that, may say, "Oh, kids this day and age," you listen to these 2 students talk, I mean, you will n no one could help but being blown away when they talk about their idea and their commitment to this community. The one said, talking about the stellar competition, he said, "I would have been honored to lose to any one of these teams." I mean, just amazing. These 2 young men have got it going.
They do, and they also both comment about what a great community that we
Yes,
have in Evansville, and that they want to stay here. They want to continue to give back, and they won that not just because of the content, but also their presentation skills. So
sure.
kudos to them, and also the New Tech.
Absolutely.
Uh, I just beaming with pride.
Yes, yes, very well deserved honor for these students, and you're right, for New Tech. And then also last night, in addition to our traditional good news, we had 2 check presentations that we were honored to be a part of last night. We had the Young Professional Alliance was here, and they did a recent fundraiser and wanted that money to go to AIS, the Academy of Innovative Studies. So we did that check presentation. And then ESG is a company we work with a lot. Nick Atherton from them was here to present a rebate check because of all of the energy savings measures we've taken on with different projects. So always great to have big check. The classic big checks were here, and always happy to be a part of that as
You
well.
bet. Not only were they big checks, but they were big amounts.
Yes,
So
definitely.
even better.
So thanks to YPA and thanks to ESG for being here last night and the
Absolutely.
others who were able to join them. And that takes care of good news. If you want, Dr. Smith, take us into consent items.
Certainly will. So we had allowance of payments this time over this 2 week period of time, totaling $9,567,289.62. A pretty typical allowance of payments, actually maybe a little bit on the lower end of things than what we've seen recently, but that's primarily driven by the fact that it was one pay. We didn't take out health insurance, and invoices totaled 1.4 million, which is a little bit less than what we've seen in the last month or so. Moving on then to item 3.03, consideration to approve grant proposals. So we had one proposal, and this was from the Welborn Baptist Foundation and is upgrade in school grant. So this is really a unique opportunity for our students. We hope that Scott Elementary will be the successful recipient of this from the Welborn Baptist Foundation. We have 2 schools that currently are in the upgrade in school grant um, program, that they've been in it for 2 years now, being Highland and Tompkins. And it's great because they really provides funding, technical assistance for schools to implement programs that really are solely focused on health and wellness. So you will see examples of vegetable tasting, the walking programs. They've helped us put in walking tracks in our schools, and active recess plans. We know how important it is for students to remain active, not just for their physical and mental well-being, but also what that does in terms of helping with cognition. So appreciate our Welborn partners, and hopefully we will be successful in securing that grant.
Another example of great partnerships.
Yes. Item 3.04, consideration to approve the agreement with Zello. And this is for an opportunity for multi-language learners. Just a great program. It provides interactive career personality and learning assessment styles in 133 languages. And we are grateful to the United Way for providing funding for this. And then finally, item 3.05, consideration to approve fine arts music instructor agreement. And this is for Rusty Brill. Um, Individuals that have been on the music scene in Evansville for quite some time may remember Rusty being the band and orchestra director at Harrison many decades ago, but they know him around the state as being the executive director of ISMA, which is the Indiana State School Music Association. He retired from that position a few years ago, and I am grateful he relocated back, I
Back to
should say,
Evansville, yes.
to Evansville. So really thrilled that our students, our trombone students, will have the benefit of his private instruction.
Yeah, and this is something we've done before, and it really is. I don't know that every district everywhere is able to provide this. I mean, this is having an extra layer of support. We're not talking about a
Right,
music teacher here. We're talking about somebody who's going to come in and really provide that direct instruction that can take our musicians, student
right.
musicians, to another level.
Absolutely.
So yeah, very happy about that. That's obviously a win for EVSC. That takes us to personnel recommendations.
Yeah. 4.01 personnel recommendations. Those recommendations are there for your perusal, and I would encourage you to click on those should you be so interested.
Okay, and then that takes us to one action item. Boy, this is an exciting one. Tell us about this,
You know,
Dr.
it
Smith.
truly is. Action item 5.01, consideration to approve the purchase agreement with Evansville Health Realty 4 LLC. So, really, what this is it is for the purchase of a portion of the building at 421 Chestnut Street, which couple decades ago was the Welborn Clinic, and then Deaconess bought that out. So it was the Deaconess Clinic. We are going to purchase the part that was known as the IBM building that sits right there on the corner of Chestnut and I believe 8th.
Kind of the left side of the building,
Yeah.
if you're picturing looking at that.
Right. Kind of a brown clad
Mhm.
building, and it is a stone's throw away from the Stone Family Center for Health Sciences
And so
on the
answer the
IU
answer this
School
question.
of Medicine.
Why would we want this building, Dr. Smith?
Well, I understand that in real estate, they say that there are three things that are really important in real estate: location, location, and
Yes.
location. So, literally, our students will be able to walk 30 seconds and be on the Stone Family Medical Campus, um, which I think is incredible. It really, so there are already three universities on that medical campus,
What,
specifically
IU, U of
IU.
E, USI,
Right.
correct?
So to have our students and the power of place working with not only the universities but also with healthcare providers, um, we'll really use this as the capstone experience for the Academy for Science and Medicine. That's an outstanding program. Many listeners may remember that as Medical Professions
Sure. One
Academy,
of our innovative
right?
models.
Located at Central High School. So this past year, we changed the name to better reflect their mission.
Sure.
So it's the Academy for Science and Medicine, but provide those capstone experiences that really no other students really will have the opportunity to uh, partake in, especially during their high school years. So some people will say that this is a great workforce development
Mhm.
move and tool, and I do think that that is absolutely right. But when we think of workforce development, that is really everything that we do to develop our students, not only from an educational basis, but also lifelong skills to develop them to where they are ready to go on and take that next step in their workforce development stage, whether it be post secondary instruction and schooling, university level, or if they go directly into the workforce. So, what is so important about this is there's a lot of excitement downtown, really generated, I think, in large part from the Stone Family Center for Health Sciences on that health campus. So, it just once again, I'm very excited about the
Sure.
opportunity. It
And
will
I think
be,
that's a great word, opportunity, because our
oh, yeah,
board really did seize this opportunity to secure a purchase here that really sets us up for such endless possibilities for these
right.
students.
So it really capitalizes on what's already been done with Bill and Mary Stone's incredible donation to IU for that particular campus. But our students will be able to work, as I said, with IU. We already have an arrangement with the University of Evansville. I think we will continue to grow one then for USI. I think Ivy Tech will be involved
Okay.
also. Um,
Not to mention Deaconess and St. Vincent are
Absolutely.
part of that as
Right.
well.
There's a new Deaconess clinic down there. So just very exciting. I think more exciting things to come, but
Yeah,
certainly looking forward to the future. And once again, I applaud our board and their vision
sure,
because everybody discusses that there's a workforce shortage in the healthcare field. This is a tangible effort on the part of EVSC to make certain that all of our high school students and actually elementary and high school students understand there are great opportunities here and here's a clear
sure.
pathway.
Sure. And just to clarify too, we are not making a change, doing away with for specifically with ASM on Central's campus. That will
Correct.
stay there. This is really because that program continues to grow, and this opportunity, especially for students maybe in the upper levels, to have those capstone experiences, really to have both locations now with this purchase.
Absolutely. And I appreciate that clarification because ASM, Academy for Science and Medicine, draws students from throughout
That's
Evansville
correct.
and also the tri-state region, really.
Right.
You don't necessarily have to be an EVSC student to apply for that. And we have many students from out of county, and we have also students that attended private schools that are now going to the academy. And boy, the student testimonials are just incredible
Sure.
about what they have
Yeah, we've heard
gotten
a
from the
few that
academy.
really lift just how
Yeah.
it sets them apart when they get to upper levels. Even one student I remember was telling us who I believe was doing her doctorate, work on
Mhm.
her doctorate, her PhD level studies, and she still found herself being elevated because of this experience that
Right.
started in high school.
And it is not uncommon for students that have gone through the Academy of Science and Medicine to say, I had opportunities that I didn't get and my peers didn't get until they were a third or fourth year medical student. And they got those opportunities in high school because of the academy.
It really is amazing when you say that. So, looking forward, like you said, to how this continues to develop in the future. But again, kudos to our board for having this type of vision to act on this opportunity that's going to benefit not only students but our entire region as
Right.
well.
And, we've been working on this for about a year too. So
Sure.
it, excited to finally see it start to take shape.
Okay. Well, that is great news. So, and then we'll move into information items.
Sure. So the first one, 6.01, consideration to adopt Indiana School Board Association policies 5050, 5051, and 8200. So this is really a result of changes in law brought about by the General Assembly last year, specifically House Enrolled Act 1447. So it does bring those things in line and delineates the policy and the practices that the public needs to basically comply with if they have concerns about curriculum material, library materials, and then also other public concerns. Item 6.02, consideration to award the contract for the 2024 Central High School roofing projects. So, Steve Scheller brought this to the board and Monday night's board meeting, and he will then bring this back 2 weeks later to ask for their approval. Same then for 6.03, consideration to award the contract for the 2024 Teacuple Elementary School roofing project. And then when we move to 6.04 and 6.05, both of these are awards to Fairlawn as well as Plaza for classroom flooring projects.
And then one more information item, and that is 6.06.
Yes, so 6.06, consideration to award the network firewall bid. So this is really important to us. It will be for a 5-year solution, another 10 gig upgrade to our pipe, as they say. And because it is E-rate or E-ratable, there will be a discount of close to $62,000. So the final total would be 85,640 or $694.60. But really important, it. Uh,
Yeah, you've talked about this lately, how we don't
right,
necessarily advertise that backside network type
right.
information as much. We talk about all the devices we have, which are amazing, but boy, this behind the scenes, the network strength, firewall, all of that our IT department is charged with maintaining, is vitally important.
It clearly is, and I like to liken this to electricity. back in the day when electricity was somewhat new. I think it was somewhat of a novelty. Well, we certainly have passed that stage when it comes to
Sure.
the internet and wireless. I think we may still be the largest user of wireless access points that we have in this region. Many industries have hardwired devices, certainly, and we have our fair share of those. But because of our student devices and teacher devices that operate on the wireless network, we have like 30,000 devices at any one time that may hit a wireless network. So we have to be ready for that.
Absolutely, and our IT department does a great job of
They do.
maintaining that and always looking forward to make sure that they've got things in place as we continue to move forward and expand the number of devices to make sure that it is seamless and that we have no issues that
Right.
are gonna interrupt student learning.
Right. And it's not just student learning. All of our HVAC
You're
systems
correct.
run on that. Our security systems
Student
run on that.
information systems,
Right.
HR,
So
that type of thing, so
a lot of things now are dependent upon our wireless as well as our internet.
okay. Well, that wraps up last night's school board meeting. Covered a lot of ground, a lot of good news, but especially thank you taking the time going through that building purchase because I think that is really something that is
Right.
exciting. Can't wait to see as that continues to develop.
I think 15, 20 years from now, members of the community will look back and that will be one of those seminal events in our community's history that, yes, that made a difference in the lives of our children. So
Absolutely. Okay. Well, thank you for
exciting.
taking the time to share all that good news with us today,
You
Dr.
bet.
Smith.
Thank you.